Hi, this is Dana, and on this channel I speak about spiritual warfare. I have another channel on astrology and a Facebook page on prophetic writings, which I invite you to read. As usual, the caveat, there are doppelgangers and individuals who steal and use my identity, my image, they impersonate me in order to conduct criminal activity which is under investigation by authorities as we speak. In this video, God has guided me to speak about the current moment. I already made a video about Halloween and its significance. This is important. It's a very important moment in spiritual fighting because it draws a line in bondage breaking overall on global level in what we know to be the earth, which actually we only know the 3D. Now, it's important because literally in that bondage, it is explained how the 3D was created. Now, since this was revealed by God through my video, literally that bondage is broken and and is exposed, and the individuals who have created and cling to this idea of 3D are exposed. Of course, bondage breaking is a process. There's still work to do. I trust fully God that he will find the right people to carry on this spiritual fighting so we can break this bondage for good and irreversible. But I just want to put into, God asked me to put in perspective a little bit this issue. Namely, this is very important because that means the bondage of creating 3D is exposed and is being broken. That means a huge advance in the spiritual fighting. It means a huge step forward for all of us. One important note here is that it might seem chaotic and crazy and hysterical. Attacks are strong at this time, but this is because we are rolling back dark forces. Which were used in order to create this bondage of 3D. Yeah, so in effect is a success, although it might not seem so. Of course, as always, these individuals work with glamour magic in order to trick us into believing that we are at a very dark time in our spiritual fighting. But in fact, what they are trying to do is to blur our criteria of evaluation of the situation. And I'm here to say it is a huge success. The fact that this bondage is exposed in the right places, this information is known, and the individuals involved are already observed, and actions is taken against them in order to break this bondage. Of course, as always, they have the option to do redemption and to stop sending darkness attacks at us in order to recreate this, as we are stepping forward and are breaking this bondage. But this is a matter of their choice. And this is, at the end of the day, something between them and God. And we are just walking our path, and we let God deal with them. And karma, of course. Now, also, I would like to make actually a personal note here. And I would like to say something in addition to that. Namely that I want to make sure that everybody understands, especially from these creeps who are creating these attacks, hoping that they can destroy us in the last minute and they can still preserve this madness of 3D. Namely that even if God gives endless chances to these creeps, and they refuse to do redemption, and God keeps giving them chances beyond any expectation, karma is still being delivered. Karma is being delivered by the universe. Karma is being delivered by the entire lineage, by ancestors. Ancestors who have been in human embodiment and they have lived our experience, going through, some of them through tortures much worse than us, because we are benefiting of the ascension. So if any of these imbeciles believe for a single second that because God is giving them chances, they will not get punished, this is a very wrong perception. In reality, karma is being delivered regardless how many chances God will give them. Yeah, karma is being delivered. The only good choice they have is to do redemption. If they refuse to do redemption, even if God gives endless choices, endless chances to them, still karma is being delivered by the entire divine realm, and nobody can stop this. You must understand. So this is just a warning for these idiots who refuse to do redemption and to stop from sending darkness attacks to bind themselves at us, to do love bombing, sex bombing, to do death spells, to do death attacks, to do satanic and demonic attachments, to do all sorts of things, to steal again from us, and so on, to create bondages on us, and so on. They just add to the karma they have. That's all. And mark my words, karma is being delivered by the universe, and the universe means more than just your ancestors, means all ancestors of all of us who actually have their own stake in this. Because as they try to recreate bondages on us, guess what? Those bondages are also or would be also recreated on our ancestors, and they are not willing to sit by idle watching them recreate the same bondages. They're not just creating that on us. I explained in another video, as we fight to break a bondage, it's a bondage which was created previously on ancestors. Equally, when they create a bondage on us, it's a bondage created on our ancestors as well. Yeah. So for this reason, our ancestors will not sit idle. Even if God has mercy for them, our ancestors will not have mercy for them because they lived through this, and they're not willing to accept that they recreate a bondage which has been broken by them and by us. Okay, so just to be clear on this, because I just have the feeling that these individuals, literally because they see God keeps giving them chances to redeem, they imagine that it's going to be like this forever, and one will not come their way. This is a very perception, and I just explained why. Now, this is important moment, as I said. Excuse me. Shh. Sorry, my puppies want to play, and when I make the video, I stay at a distance from them, so it annoys them that they cannot play with me. Now, liniște. Sorry. I hope it doesn't disturb you while I'm speaking, the noises they make. So let's figure out, as this happened right now, God asked me to talk about the fact that we are on the 1st of November. That means we have 1 month and a half up to Karmic board meeting. Yeah, this is very important. This is very important to take time and reflect. For everyone, obviously, not only for the light workers, for everyone is important, because basically it's a time when everyone should actually ask for divine guidance, try to sort of make a bottom line of what happened in the past year and what happened since the last karmic board meeting. Ask guidance. How can you make the best of the time left so you can actually make sure that by the time when the karmic board meeting comes, you fully close all cycles, all karmic cycles. You fully cut all strings with these individuals, and you create the conditions together with the divine realm so you can actually move into a new beginning. This is very important because the karmic board meeting can help in many ways, but ideally, this is why I speak so early about it. Ideally, you start getting guidance early on from your ancestors what to request. I remind everyone that dispense can be requested from the karmic board meeting. So if you feel like there is still something that you didn't accomplish from the tasks which you assumed or from the bondage breaking that you were supposed to make, you can ask for dispense. But you must always, when you ask for dispense, you must always put together and present a plan for how you can, why would you deserve a dispense and what you plan to do. For example, if you ask a dispense because you didn't achieve something or you didn't break bondage or something, you would explain why, and you would explain how you want to recover the time which you lost. So I didn't break the bondage up until now because this and so and so and so happened, but I plan to, and then you say how you plan to actually make up for that which you didn't succeed to achieve so far, which you were supposed to achieve. Yeah. I also remind everyone, writing astral letters to the karmic board meeting or in general basically should really be taken seriously, and you should actually use a language like you would be in a court of law. This is how you discuss, because your astral letter will be instantly delivered to the karmic board meeting and to the karmic board and to authorities in divine realm. So this is very important. This will give again time for you to request and receive guidance from your ancestors. Many of them already know information about your bondage which is unbeknownst to you. You don't know it yet. You will learn it when you actually finish breaking the bondage. So some of them can give hints what you can promise to achieve in the future. I will also say that this is a good opportunity to discuss with a karmic board meeting about your new beginning, what you plan to do, present a business plan if you have a project to develop and you request resources to actually achieve that. And when I say you present a business plan, I mean also with a budget. Literally, I am not kidding. This is like you would be discussing this in a court of law. You present your plan, you present a budget, and you request that budget, those resources that you need. And they will come to you in different forms. That's a different story, but you say what you need. This is already important, and it's also a first step in your manifesting that. Yeah. So it's important to explain this. And of course, I referred only to a project, but I know that there are people who actually want families, want love, want twin flames, whatever you want. Now, this is your choice. For everything, the same rules apply. Yeah, the same rules apply. This is very important because I'll give you one example. As I said in other videos, the generational curse lasts 49 years. So presumably the generational curse was placed on you early on in your childhood, and you will reach the point of breaking that around 14, when you will be around 49 years. But, and this is, God asked me to say this, God asked me to say that for those who actually are under generational curse, normally, at least in my experience, God waits for you to reach a time close to the 49 years. Like it was in my case. I reached 49 in 2021. And God started revealing to me about calling judgment and punishment and so on since 2018. This is because as you get close to breaking to the end of the generational curse, the veil is rifting. They know this and they start attacking you to kill you. So because attacks for death started on me since 2014, very obviously, because that was my last karmic cycle, God started revealing this to me, yeah? But God asked me to convey to everyone that because this bondage of creation of 3D, which is explained in the video on Halloween, because this was exposed, we are now moving faster. So those of you who are much younger, you don't have to wait now until 49 years old so you can wait for the veil to be lifted, so you can actually learn about your bondage and so on. Because you have, on one hand, you have the ascension, on one hand. On another hand, there's this spectacular achievement, namely that the bondage creation of the 3D has been exposed. And for this reason, already the dark forces are being rolled back in many ways. And you stand to benefit from this chaos which is created. Namely that you can and will start your spiritual fighting consciously much earlier than we did. Yeah, because through the spiritual fighting carried out by us, for those of us who did so, the conditions were created so you don't have to wait until 49 years old anymore. So you actually at the end of your bondage, and you can start consciously, because as I explained, there was this bondage which was created on Halloween, of the creation of 3D. Since this is being exposed, now basically all deadlines are changed because the veil is lifting over everything. You don't have to wait until you reach 49 years for the veil to be lifted. Yeah? So you can start earlier. This is a huge advantage. Because, of course, those of us who had to wait until very late, last karmic cycle, you get drained with so many individuals feeding from you and stealing from you and slandering your name and sending darkness to you and so on and so forth. So I think, in my perception, this is a huge advantage that you have, and I invite you all to actually benefit of it, yeah, because it truly is a great advantage. And especially if you are in this situation, you should be using the karmic cycle karmic board meeting in December to request, for example, advice on how to shape up your bondage breaking. Yeah, you start this much earlier, so actually you will have more time to enjoy your life afterwards. This is great news, I believe. I wish God would have told me earlier about this, and I would have started to do the spiritual fighting consciously much earlier. But anyhow, it doesn't matter. Now we are different in different situations. The fact of the matter is, this video which I made on Halloween, in which I explained the bondage creation through Halloween, namely the creation of 3D, literally changes everything. Changes everything. Maybe some individuals did not notice that video, thinking it's about whatever celebrations they do on Halloween. No, it's about spiritual fighting, and it has a tremendous importance because it changes everything. It opens up doors, it lifts veils, it basically creates huge panic among those who actually have vested interest in maintaining the 3D. So actually, it's not just an option if you feel like it. It's an advice to actually request guidance and understand how this is affecting you, because they will start being much more aggressive. Literally, because they are exposed. Yeah, and the process of breaking the bondage on which they actually gained undeserved wealth and positions and leadership positions and money and fame and so on and so forth. All of this is breaking down. It's crumbling. The 3D is crumbling. This is basically what it is. Okay, it is a process, but it started. Do you understand? So this is very, very important timing. This is very important timing. It is also very important timing also for the individuals who have been creating bondages, because I believe this is the last chance they have to actually stop and redeem themselves. This literally is a time when everything, the entire history and the situation we know is rewritten. And many of you, and I'm thinking in this moment particularly about men, young men from younger generations, I imagine that many of you will want to be involved in this. If you want to be involved, you can always ask the Karmic board and also God and your ancestors. I explained this in other videos and in many prophetic writings, that I basically took active part in shaping up how my bondage breaking develops. Because at the time when the surprise attack was done at me in 2018, my ancestors, God, Jesus, they all were very upset and puzzled, and they kept saying, they all turned against you, and we need a man, because they all have these spiritual organizations, male only, and you do not know what they do there, so this is complicated and so on and so forth. And I said, no, I don't fucking need any man. I will do this myself. And I asked God, I said, no, please work with me. Work with me. I can break the bondage alone. I don't need anyone. Don't you see they betray? Why you keep saying I need another one to betray me? I will do it myself. So you can do the same, especially the younger generation, those who, of course, any assignment that you request or sign up voluntarily for will be rewarded. You will be elevated to a higher ranking than you would have been expected. You can talk to God and you can ask, and God will appreciate this very much. God will reward you more than you would expect. I promise you this. So anyhow, this is because I believe that if I would have been a man and I would have been somehow unaware if I am involved or not, I would have volunteered to be involved. What do you mean? I'm not going to stand by on the marks and watch others and allow my spiritual path to depend on whatever others decide to do. I would want to be involved. I will make sure that the bondage is broken, so then we can all break free faster and sooner, and we can start actually a different phase in our life. Again, this is a personal choice. Some individuals, like it or not, you're going to be involved in this. See, because the creation of 3D involved bondages on you. So then, like it or not, you're going to have to fight it. But some others might not be directly involved in the precise bondage breaking on this matter. If I would be a man and I wouldn't be automatically involved in that, I would clearly volunteer to be involved, because at least I know for a fact that I did everything I could, and then everything moves forward. It's much better than to sit idle and watch others how they screw up, and then including your own path is affected by that. Yeah. To be honest, I don't think this is going to be screwed up. On the other hand, and to be even more honest, I will make sure it's not going to be screwed up. Yeah? Anyhow, it's your personal responsibility. I just issue an opinion that you can do what you want, of course, and what you feel like it. Anyhow, in all of these situations, regardless which one resonates with you, I just remind everyone that it is a good idea to get prepared for the Karmic board meeting, and basically to underline the fact that the Halloween this year brought a very important progress for those of us who do spiritual fighting, namely that the bondage of creating 3D has been exposed. And that means a huge progress. Also, it means a much more intensified those who are willing and interested in being part of this spiritual fighting have opened doors to the divine realm, to be creative and to volunteer for whatever they feel like doing. And of course, if you decide so, please know that your ancestors, your entire team from divine realm will work with you. They will hold meetings, and they will decide on a strategy on how you can achieve whatever you volunteer for, and they will guide you how to do that. They will make specific embodiments on you, so they will make sure that you achieve and receive and learn the abilities and you master the abilities you need in order to achieve whatever you volunteered to achieve. This is a spectacular moment, and I hope that everyone will reflect on what I said and will understand how important this time is, and how you can literally take advantage of this opportunity to shape up your spiritual path, in addition to whatever was foreseen for you by God and the divine realm when you came into incarnation. I remind everyone that I already said in another video before that what was foreseen for each of us when we came into incarnation was one thing, but all the harm they have done in all of these years transformed the situation in such a way that at this point, what was foreseen for you when you came into incarnation is a little bit outdated. And your active part in shaping up your spiritual path, with volunteering for specific tasks which you would like to achieve, not only that will be rewarded, but is very welcome, because the divine realm must update anyhow the original blueprint which was foreseen by God at your creation and your embodiment in this lifetime. Yeah. Okay, I think this is mostly what God wanted me to convey. I wish you luck, inspiration, and I really truly testify from my own experience that is not only empowering but also extremely rewarding to take an active step and volunteer for specific bondage breaking, spiritual fighting, and so on. Even you can volunteer without necessarily specifying what you want to do, by just saying, like when I volunteered to break the bondage on my own, without a twin flame, without a soulmate, without anyone. I didn't know what that was, what that meant. I just said I want to break that bondage on my own. And then I learned as I went along what it meant. So you can do the same. It doesn't mean that you have to volunteer for a specific task. You can actually write a letter saying, I want to be involved in breaking the bondage of creation of 3D. And then your ancestors and God will decide what role you play and what embodiments you need in order to be able to play that role. Okay? So you can do this. As I say, I testify from my personal experience that is extremely rewarding. And I tell you, it depends a lot on your personality. I couldn't, for the life of me, I could have never just sit idle because some idiots betrayed God and betrayed me. And now I have nobody to work with to break this bondage. I could have never done this. I believe, regardless through how much harm I have been, I would have, I wouldn't have been, it would have been just too depressing and traumatizing. And I cannot imagine that I would have survived to just sit idle and watch them as they attack me. It's not me. That's not me. I cannot do that. So I believe there are other people who have a similar profile with mine. And if it is so, please know that you don't need to work with any kind of forces. You don't need to summon. You don't need to do anything. You just need to write astral letter to the karmic board, to God, to your ancestors, and to state that you want to do this. And they will come to you and they will tell you how you do this. Yeah. Don't get tricked, because I'm pretty sure the scripts will try to trick you and to transform a good intention into something evil. Don't get tricked into deciding by yourself, I want to be this identity, now I steal this identity. No, don't. This is not how it goes. It is always the divine realm who decides, and please know it is always God who creates the embodiment on you. God will work with specific deities to help you in this regard, but it's God who creates the embodiment on you himself. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna stop here. This was the message God asked me to convey, and I wish you luck.